Look at every man you know over 40. Odds are, at least one of them is bald, balding, or checking his hairline in every mirror he passes. Now here is the strange part. Go back 10,000 years, dig through skeleton after skeleton, skull after skull, and you will not find a single clear case of male pattern baldness. Not one. Cave paintings show hunters with thick manes. Egyptian tombs, Siberian ice graves, European bog burials, skulls pulled from every corner of the ancient world still have hair rooted in the scalp. So what changed? Were ancient humans hiding something in their biology, or their lifestyle, that we have completely lost? By the end of this video, you might look at your own bathroom mirror very differently. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Ancient humans were not immune to baldness. Their bodies were not built better than ours on some fundamental level. They simply were not alive long enough for it to show. Male pattern baldness is driven by a hormone called DHT, short for dihydrotestosterone, and DHT damage builds up slowly, decade after decade, quietly shrinking hair follicles until they stop producing visible hair. The average life expectancy in prehistoric times hovered around 30 years, and even accounting for infant mortality skewing that number, very few adults lived past 50. Baldness is largely a disease of old age wearing a disguise, and most ancient humans died before the disguise could slip. It is a tidy explanation. It is also not the whole story. Researchers studying isolated tribes today, communities living the same rugged, low-sugar, high-movement lifestyle our ancestors lived for hundreds of thousands of years, found something odd. The elders in these groups, men in their 60s and 70s, kept a surprising amount of hair. Anthropologists working with communities in remote parts of South America and Papua New Guinea documented full heads of hair on men who, by Western standards, should have been thinning for decades. Longevity alone does not explain that. Something about their daily life, something environmental, was protecting their follicles long after age should have caught up with them. Modern diets are loaded with refined sugar, seed oils, and processed carbohydrates, and all three spike insulin multiple times a day. High insulin has been linked to higher DHT activity, the exact hormone responsible for shrinking hair follicles. Every sugary soda, every plate of white bread, sends your body into an insulin surge that nudges your hormones in a direction that is not friendly to your hairline. Picture a hunter-gatherer instead, eating lean wild meat and foraged plants in irregular meals shaped by scarcity, not convenience. No vending machines. No conveyor belt of processed carbs. Their bodies rarely felt the insulin chaos modern fast food creates several times a day, every day for an entire lifetime. Calmer hormones. Follicles that were never under constant chemical bombardment. Stress today is chronic. It is emails at midnight, traffic that never moves, debt that never shrinks, a phone that buzzes before your eyes are even open. Ancient stress was sharp and short. A predator in the tall grass. A storm rolling in over the ridge. A rival tribe on the horizon. Then it passed and life went back to calm. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, is a documented follicle killer when it lingers in the bloodstream for years without a break, choking off blood flow to the scalp and disrupting the hair growth cycle. Ancient humans got sudden spikes of danger followed by long stretches of rest. Modern scalps marinate in stress hormones 24 hours a day, for decades, with no off switch. The gene most closely tied to male pattern hair loss sits on the X chromosome, inherited from the mother's side, and it has concentrated more heavily in certain populations over thousands of years of selective mating and population bottlenecks. Ancient tribes were smaller, more scattered, and genetically varied from region to region, with far less mixing across large populations. The gene existed 10,000 years ago. It just had not spread and consolidated the way it eventually would. Ancient humans spent nearly every waking hour outdoors, walking, running, climbing, hunting across open terrain. Picture that constant motion keeping blood pumping to every part of the body, scalp included, delivering a steady stream of oxygen and nutrients straight to the hair follicles. Sunlight triggered natural vitamin D production, a nutrient now strongly linked to healthy hair follicle cycling. Now picture the modern version. A body folded into a desk chair for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, under fluorescent lighting, with barely a walk to the parking lot for sunlight. Poor circulation and vitamin D deficiency are quiet, invisible conditions, but over decades they add up to follicles that never get what they need. Modern hair care is a chemical minefield. Sulfates strip natural oils, heat styling tools cook the scalp, synthetic dyes and gels coat follicles in residue day after day. Ancient humans used none of it. Their scalps produced natural oils that were never stripped away by harsh detergents, oils that formed a protective barrier modern shampoo is specifically designed to remove. Some anthropological evidence even suggests ancient humans rubbed natural fats and plant oils into their hair and skin, reinforcing that same protective layer instead of destroying it. The less they interfered with their own biology, the better their biology performed. Beyond diet and hair products, the modern world is saturated with substances ancient humans never encountered at all. Air pollution, plastic residues, and hundreds of synthetic compounds in food, water, and packaging are now linked in ongoing research to hormone disruption throughout the body. Some of these compounds are known as endocrine disruptors, meaning they interfere directly with the same hormonal pathways that regulate hair growth. Ancient humans breathed clean air, drank water straight from rivers and springs, and ate food with zero synthetic processing. Their bodies operated in the exact environment their biology evolved for, over hundreds of thousands of years, with no chemical static interfering with the signal. Hair growth follows a repair cycle that happens primarily during deep sleep, when the body releases growth hormone and repairs cellular damage from the day. Ancient humans fell asleep shortly after dark and woke with first light, night after night of consistent, deep, uninterrupted rest. Now picture a modern human scrolling a glowing screen until midnight, blue light disrupting melatonin production, averaging far less deep sleep than any hunter-gatherer ever got. Chronic sleep deprivation is now tied to elevated stress hormones and disrupted hair growth cycles, one more modern factor working against the hairline that ancient humans never had to fight. Some of the clearest evidence comes straight from preserved remains. Otzi the Iceman, a 5,000-year-old mummy found frozen in the Alps, still had hair intact on his scalp despite dying in his mid-40s, an age where modern male pattern baldness is common. Egyptian mummies, preserved through intentional embalming, consistently show full heads of hair on remains dated to individuals in their 40s and even 50s. Across multiple continents and multiple preservation methods, the same pattern holds. It is not proof that ancient humans were biologically superior, but it strongly backs everything the lifestyle evidence already points toward. Modern science is now reverse engineering exactly what ancient lifestyles did by accident. Reducing sugar intake, managing chronic stress, increasing daily movement, getting real sunlight, and prioritizing deep sleep are all backed by clinical research as legitimate factors in maintaining healthy hair for longer. None of it requires ancient conditions to work. It requires understanding what those conditions were doing right and rebuilding pieces of them into a modern day. So no, ancient humans were not walking around with some lost biological secret sitting just out of reach. They lived shorter lives. They ate leaner food. They faced sharper but shorter bursts of stress, moved constantly under real sunlight, slept in rhythm with the earth, and never once flooded their bodies with the processed food and synthetic chemicals modern life treats as normal. Strip away modern food, modern stress, and modern chemical exposure, and the mirror might look very different for every one of us. Maybe the real question was never why they kept their hair. Maybe it is what we are doing every single day to lose ours.